Yak Gotti finally released from prison. He was charged with running one of Atlanta's most notorious gangs. He was charged with murder. He was acquitted, not guilty on all counts. He spent 3 years, close to 3 years, with no bond. And then even after he got a not guilty, they held him because he caught charges for fights in jail. Finally released. Here's what he had to say.
I'm glad things that you haven't did, and you got a strong support system. Like, I was on the news every day, me and my mom, a victim of, like, just accusing us of things that we not, and we haven't did, and it's like, no one ever apologized for none of that. You know, like, like, I got kids, I got grandma, I got people who love me. I'm saying, nobody ain't never said, Mr. Kendrick, we owe you an apology, or this is not you, you know, and it's just like,
what would you say to Fani Willis?
I don't got no comment.
No comment.
Right here, who's been staying 10 toes down, disappointing me, I just want to spend time with them. No fake love, no fake energy, just, you know, say it right over with me right now. No more, no extra.
It's Coffee on the vid, back at it, and man, fights in jail, are you kidding me? This is ludicrous, real talk. Someone needs to help Yak Gotti, like an attorney who really knows how to make things happen or something. Can you believe this? After that clown show of a state RICO trial in Georgia, this happens when he gets a not guilty verdict. You know what I mean? I've been pointing out how Young Thug took the plea and Yak Gotti and Stillwell not guilty verdicts. You know what I mean? That Thugger should have pushed it to the jury. And, you know, even if he did get found guilty, he'd have an appeal. I mean, I don't know. He took the plea. It is what it is. But it's just so shocking to me that Thugger been home on all this probation. They just try to throw him back in over some bullish. And Yak Gotti is just touching down, and he takes the high road, too, with Fani Willis. No comment. I can't believe that. That's crazy. That's ludicrous. They charged him for just scraps in jail. I can't believe this. Seriously, I would get the fuck up out of there so fast. I mean, no one wants to get ran up out of their own home, but the type of games that they're playing, I wouldn't want no part of it, man. So Adam22 going hard body trying to push these memberships. And comment, y'all, are you membered up with any YouTube channels out there? What are your thoughts about the whole membership thing? Do you think it's normally worth it or not? I forget the price for the no jumper one, but he says he'll respond to your DMs for life if you send him the pic confirming that you have the membership. Like, is that really that big of a deal? Does anyone really want that like that? Like, I'm being serious. No jumper, successful channel, all that. They've done a lot of sucker-ish. You know, I'm not trying to just straight-ish on them. Like, oh, what? What type of groupie-ish is that? Like, who really DMs Adam22? People trying to get on the podcast or girls trying to get in porno, right? I mean, seriously? And then I don't know what this order place thing is. They send you some kind of package or something? I don't know. Are they really hurting like that for paper? Or is this just some kind of play that he's running? I don't know what's going on, but this was rather peculiar. But you never know with this guy. He plays so many damn games. That's why him and Whack 100 is like a match made in hell. They're like the same guy in so many ways. The 22ster and the rooster.
Hello world. No one on the corner has swagger like too cool for school, fly boy high. I drop out like I fell from the sky. Hold up, let me wipe the cloud off my eye. I have class. He has class. He has class. First in the lunch line. My lunch ticket let me eat rappers at lunchtime. Swagger, shining brighter than sunshine. Misfit, ducking the fashion one time. No one on the corner has swagger like moi. No one on the corner has swagger like moi. Church, but I'm too clean for the choir. I require what I desire. I earn my stripes. I D-dice. Mommy scream, Poppy, no mas. Run up in your house, just me, no mas. Running this bitch like I got 4 thighs. No one has swagger like these 4 guys.
Man, classic swagger like us. As you see, Prime Lil Wayne is being discussed. This was a big discussion, and that was really an era to behold. Seriously, man. But who had the hardest verse on that? Who was it? Wayne, T.I., Jay-Z, and Kanye, right? Yo, Kanye with Jay, got a bop like this, can't wear skinny jeans because my knots don't fit. And I like when T.I. said, Jeezy for the bird play, Wheezy for the wordplay, me for controversy. And what he say? Something like, if you ain't working with your spitting, then you're worthless. Something like that. And they took that from that. I fly like paper, get high like plane. If you catch me in the border, I got visas at my name. I used to work at a spot that sold pizza, wings, subs, and all that. It looked dead like the place they were at in that video. But that was dope the way they freaked that. Who did that beat? I forget who produced Swagger Like Us, but who had the hottest verse? It's a trip seeing Wayne record his verse in the hotel room. And getting back to talking about Prime Wayne, it was insane, man. Wayne was dropping the mixtape stuff like every day. He was just drinking lead and recording. Remember, he was saying, I'm the greatest rapper alive since the greatest rapper retired. And even though Wayne ain't the guy that he was before, he's still, a certified vet. And yo, someone's trolling. You seen someone too trying to troll, saying he's about to cut off his dreads and drop a Kendrick diss, pluck up out of here. But remember when there was some real rumblings that was gonna go down? I'm so glad that didn't happen. But Corday, right? He says Wayne helped him push his pen and gave him advice that helped shape his latest album, The Crossroads. Treat every song like it's people's first time hearing you. I took that and revamped this whole thing. Corday initially had a different intro, but when he sent it to Wayne, Wayne said, quote, this ain't it. Wayne says he knew Corday had that dog in him and just wanted him to bring that out and put it on display. It was Wayne's advice about how to approach the album that allowed Corday to lock in and eventually make what many consider his best work. So I'm not a big Corday fan, but it's cool to see Wayne in like a mentorship role. And you know what I'm saying? So often in the rap game, we see so many rappers fall out, business, label-ish, whatever. But it's cool to see Wayne been in the game this long. And, that's another thing is a lot of time individuals don't want to look up to the vets or elders or whatever, And I'm not saying just because someone's older or been in the game a long time, they just ultimately got to have all that respect. But that's just something that's happened in hip hop a lot, over time. And a lot of individuals have said about the newer generation, that they'll be like, yo, fuck them old motherfuckers. But it's cool to see Wayne still in the game, still getting love. But you see, let me tell you about Prime Wayne, T-Pain, and Ludacris. Remember the T-Wayne-ish? It was so crazy the way they would collab together. There's a joint that he has out that has like the Q-Tip Vibrant Thang beat flipped, where he's like, I'm so fly and I don't know why. Comment if you ever heard that one. But they just collabed and did it up every time they were on a project together. But it was nuts how much Ish was dropping back then, just on the regular from Wayne, And then to see him eventually end up dissing Jay-Z when it was all love. The greatest rapper alive since the greatest rapper retired. But then, which obviously he was giving the props to Hove, and legend has it, after all Wayne's hard work, Hove called him and was like, yo, I've been seeing you, you know what I mean? But then later for him to diss him over that Baby Money line, and he went in telling him, your cleavage, what do you say? Cleavage and Hello Kitty. I kidnapped that chick, that how much you love your lady money. That was crazy, man. But they've since made up and everything. But I remember just being shocked by that. And then Wayne and Baby end up falling out. And they've squashed it as well. That's another thing with Cash Money. Everyone done left Cash Money and came back and internally beefed with each other. As you see someone pointing out Lil Wayne 500 Degrees, because Juvenile classic album 400 Degrees, right? That was how a lot of the masses found out about Cash Money, at least where I was at. You know what I mean? We were seeing, because this is way before the internet. And music was still regional in a lot of ways. And we were seeing Cash Money Records ads in like Vibe magazine and Double XL and all that. And we were like, who are these guys? Wanna Be No Limit? And then that Juvie High and that BG Cash Money is an Army, better yet a Navy, you know what I mean? And it was crazy. And Wayne was dope. But once the Carter hit, you know what I mean? And the dreads, he went from the braids to the dreads. It was like he morphed into just this other type of artist and caliber of MC. Like, I knew Wayne was nice, but it's crazy how dope he became. You know, like, comment, y'all, what do you guys think about that? Remember Gilly the Kid was trying to say that was all his doing? Like, come on, man. So how in the fuck did that all change after you left? How did Wayne keep making all them hot albums and mixtapes and all that? And comment your favorite Wayne mixtape, album, whatever, you know? And do you think, a lot of cats are saying he's the best feature rapper, one of the best of all time? Do you agree with that? But also Kendrick, before the fame, this just happens to be, he appeared in J-Rock's music video for All My Life with Lil Wayne. Like, that was a trip. I've mentioned this a lot, how with TDE, many thought J-Rock was going to be the guy at first blow. You know what I mean? Like, talking about regionally, I was hearing of TDE on mixtapes and all that. And J-Rock is dope and all that. It's crazy. We seen him get arrested recently. But, and he even had the Wayne feature and all that. And don't get me wrong, it was a hit. But who would have ever known that Kendrick would go on to have the run that he did and become the artist that he became, and still is now, after bodying Drake and having him running and crying to attorneys, man. Duffel Bag Boy, that was a dope feature. Swagger Like Us, we already talked about that. The Troll, that he's gonna cut his dreads off, and yeah, that about does it, man. It's just had to reminisce a bit on prime Lil Wayne, man. That era was nuts. Even remember, he had to go do that little jail bit and came home and still had the momentum behind him. What years do you think the prime Wayne run was as well? Drop it in the comments. What was it, like 04 or late 03 or early 04 to what, 2014? 13? No, 12? Like, I know he was still hot, but it wasn't the same, right? Like, when did the run stop? Like, let's talk about it all. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Sub up is coffee. I'm gone.